Let's get into the internet kind of conversation here, actually, which is a conversation I used to have a lot of it back home, back in the days when I was crazy into football, but more into supporting people than clubs.
Yeah.
Because now I would jump.
It's a very
off when-
NBA thing to be a fan
Yeah.
of a player more than a club in
Yeah.
NBA.
But it's crazy
I say
because-
club and talking about basketball. It's so funny.
But it is very apparent, especially when you talk about these two players, Messi and Ronaldo. Now, what do you think when they say Messi has more talent than Ronaldo? That's why a lot of people, when they put Messi ahead of Ronaldo, is one of the reasons they use is Messi has more talent. Oh no, Messi is talented. Ronaldo is hard work.
They're both talented. There's no way that they can't both be talented.
Yeah.
But I understand what they're saying when they say that, for them to get to that neck and neck position where they were at for so long,
Yeah.
Ronaldo had to work harder to get there. But because he's there, to me, it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
how he gets there. It's the fact that he gets there. But you can't just tell me that hard work is what gets you to the same level of Lionel Messi. Or the fact that Messi's talented, so he doesn't have to work hard. Of course, he works hard.
Yeah.
But I would say that the ratio of natural talent and work ethic are the inverse of them within each other.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronaldo does work harder. That's obvious.
Yeah.
But like I said, it doesn't mean that Messi's a slacker.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that he has that natural talent. Obviously, Ronaldo has a natural talent. He wouldn't have gotten to even
That far.
sniff
Yeah.
Manchester United at that point in their status without the idea of natural talent.
Yeah.
But then he took that talent and multiplied it
Mm-hmm.
over and over again by just refusing to accept where he was at currently. So he could have had a ceiling,
Yeah.
but he blew through it. Whereas Messi, it was more so about where is that fucking ceiling? Because we don't
Yeah.
see it. That's the whole
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
There were times where Ronaldo was capping off, but he said, not on my watch. Here we go to that next level. Messi, you kind of were always looking up and never having to worry that it would be there.
Yeah.
As long as you continue to still work hard.
Yeah.
So the argument that they're both in two completely separate camps like that has never made sense to me. They both have to have certain parts of hard work and talent to have gotten where they were.
Yeah, another thing also, I feel like the positions, what I mean by position is if you're a winger, your lifespan as a winger is actually short if you think about
yeah.
it. Because the main thing of a winger that above anything, although everything is connected, it's speed.
Yes.
If you don't have speed, you won't last long as a winger.
Yeah.
Now, if you think about Ronaldo coming in game, if you gotta go watch the early Manchester United, he was freaking skilled. In fact, that's one thing that Sir Alex Ferguson spotted and said, we gotta sign this young boy. But him realizing that as a winger, I might not last long. I have to translate what was the natural position for him to translate into to transition into will be striker. Now I understand a lot of people will look at it and say, well, Messi can make, he can do this. True, that's also because Messi was built as a 10. 10 can be a false 9 or could be an 8, especially we used to have 8 back in the days. We don't have it that much more. You just think about those stuff. Now, yes, there's a lot of things that differentiate these guys because when you think about Ronaldo, I think his goals was also different. I think scoring was his main thing, where he became efficient at doing that. Whereas Messi, I don't really think he thought about, I want to be good goal scorer. But the how he played the game made him a better round player all around. I think that's what it is.
That was we had this conversation when we were doing our top starting 11, and it's like Messi's one of those players that whenever he has the ball, people that are not even there to cover him, he changes the dynamic of everybody around him defensively as well, just by having the ball, because there's so much more that he can do within a certain amount of time and space than Ronaldo could.
Yeah.
So he can turn into an assist maker. He can turn into the playmaker like that. Whereas I agree with you. I think that Ronaldo's goals are a bit more intentional.
Yeah.
I'm doing this to get here, and this will be the end result. I've designed it and calculated it to be so. Whereas Messi is a bit more free and kind of has that confidence, but also it's a bit more of just like a situational awareness of he's not even. Sometimes it looks like he's not even really thinking about what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he knows that at any given moment there are 3 or 4 things that he can do that may or may not even completely involve himself, getting other people involved at the same time, that can potentially yield a result. And he can just see those things a little bit quicker than Ronaldo. And I think that is one of the separations between them. And again, and you said it well too, it's not necessarily about us defining them in terms of their vertical progression of who's better than the other. It's sort of defining what they did and what they provided to the clubs, because otherwise we're just counting trophies. And counting trophies is oftentimes a superficial way of doing this. But what Messi did more than Ronaldo was having that ability to adapt within a microsecond to bring other people into the game.
And if you think about it, and another thing is, it's kind of difficult to compare and contrast these two, just because we can't talk about trophies when we put these two. The reason why I say that, because if you've been at your prime, because a lot of people in any sport, your prime don't last that long. And no one overlaps. Meaning you can have 2 GOATs in one era. It's usually difficult. It's like we got Ali, then we got Tyson, then we never. It's difficult, and that's why I think it's gonna be difficult for soccer or football to have it. And when you have to compare and contrast, you can't put stats anymore, because they have blown beyond statistics.
So
it's not so much about it. And at the end of the day, like I said, Ronaldo is the best singer, and Messi is the best maestro. That's how I see it.
Okay.
He can orchestrate everything. But Ronaldo will make sure you get the top hits.
You get the best of him every single night. Whether or not the other people around him are necessarily in sync with him. I completely agree with that. Messi's putting the band together. But Ronaldo is guaranteeing you that, like, look, you will get a 10 out of 10 from me every single night, and generally speaking, that's pretty much what happened.